Talking with Words.
Welcome back to Talking with Words. We are joined by Dana and David. I want to make sure I get your last name correctly. Is it Feinstein?
Fredsti.
Fredsti. Okay. And Fitzgerald, I think I can figure out, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us.
You.
Writers, activists, special. I mean, you've been in Army of Darkness. I mean,
yeah.
You've got a pretty good history of cool shit that you guys do.
I've done a lot of very odd and fun things as Dave. So sword fighting on Army of Darkness was one of them.
Yeah.
And that,
we pretty much met through sword fighting and LARPing. So
really,
our thread is strong. Yeah.
Okay, that was one of my questions, and that makes so much sense. I love it. Can I go ahead and just ask you about your time on Army? I mean, I'm a Sam Raimi fan. I mean, you're a horror fan. I'm a horror fan.
Oh yeah.
How was that? Give us like just a quick.
It was really, it was an experience. At the time, we had no idea that it was going to become this cult film. It was just another, it was a job. I was with the Academy of Theatrical Combat, and most of the Deadites that weren't stop motion animation were women or very, very skinny guys because they wanted us to look like skeletons. So I had to drop, geez Louise, like 20 pounds to do that. And I was a hefty Deadite, man. But it was really fun. I have a lot of really good memories, and I can safely say that Bruce Campbell was so much like Ash in real life back in the day.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get with him. But it was just a really fun experience. It was exhausting, but it was really fun. I mean, sword fighting anyway is fun, and it was a blast. You can ask me specific questions and I will give you more than it was fun. I think. But
I mean, I just know, like, I just turned 41, and I remember. I know. I apologize. My genes.
I forgive you.
I remember going. I lived overseas, and I got the Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 1, like box pack that had just come out on VHS.
Oh, nice.
And
yeah.
I bought it because I loved the cover with the skull with the actual eyeballs instead of the. And I watched those. I mean, I wore the tapes out. I had to throw them out and get new ones. Like, that's how much I was into it. And I think there's a whole group of our generation that opened so many doors, and it opened doors in horror and comedy anyway. But I mean, that's awesome to be a part of that. And did you start with the fighting first? You were a stunt?
I started with acting first, but I learned how to sword fight and do theatrical combat. I started at 18 because I met a guy at a Renaissance fair that was bitching about his partner having dropped out from this fight that they were going to do. And we were in line for a turkey leg, and I just turned around and said, I'll do it. And he was wearing a white flowy shirt and boots. And that is my type. That's why I've always dated sword fighters. And that started me, Chris Villa, who was a choreographer for many, many years. And then I got involved with the Academy of Theatrical Combat, which is Dan Speaker and Jan Bryant, and they got hired to do the choreography for Army of Darkness. And so, I was a specialty player on that. And then I've done a few other movies and minimal stunts, mostly sword fighting, because I have no desire to be set on fire or fall off a tall building or anything.
But why?
Because I like my skin the way it is.
Tell them who else was in your crew when you were at the Michigan Renaissance Fair.
Oh, geez. Okay. I was watching Keegan and Peele. He introduced me to it because of the zombie episode back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Keegan going, gosh, he looks so familiar. Oh, he looks kind of like Gabriel on The Walking Dead. And then all of a sudden I realized I had worked with him in a sword fighting group when he was 17. And the
Really?
same
Oh, wow.
My ex-husband comedy chops and his first sword fighting how to do that was the same guy that taught Keegan. And it was just kind of like, so I've got pictures of that, and it's just very bizarre because I look at him now and he's like whoosh, out into the stratosphere. But
if you look at I can't remember if it was Stephen Colbert or
Jimmy Kimmel.
It was a Jimmy Kimmel. the last time that Keegan-Michael Key was on there, he shows a picture of him in the store, and you can see
Oh,
her
really?
and there. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's
Yeah,
very cool.
it was fun. He was a sweetheart, and from what I understand, he's still the same.
Yeah.
Thank you, my manager here.
That's a great support system you have. Hey,
He's
remember this?
fantastic.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Well, that's what we're here for.
That's
I
right.
also I want to just see if this connects at all, because in my brain it does. The fact that you were doing that stuff and now you work with Jonathan, is that just happenstance that he is also the level of martial arts and all that?
Jonathan, our friendship, I think it just must have been in the stars, because what happened is that I was writing my first Ashley Parker zombie novel, and I read Patient Zero, and I loved it because it was so well written and it was funny. And I thought, gosh, maybe he will, I've never asked for a blurb before. And I thought, well, this will be my first one. So I wrote to him and I asked him if he would read and blurb my book. And he said, yes. And then after that, we were kind of online friends, and I was on Facebook, and there was a post where he was talking about how his son had lost his place to live in San Diego, and it was an emergency, and he was getting kicked out that night. Did anyone know of any place he could stay? Long story short, Sam ended up living with my parents for a few months in San Diego. I'm now Auntie Dana to Sam's son, and we just clicked. I mean,
Yeah.
I consider him one of the nicest. He and his wife Sarah Jo and Sam,
Their family.
their family, their
Yeah.
friends. He's my boss, and I feel really, really lucky. And yeah, just the fact that we have so many things that are similar in our background: theater, martial arts, all of that.
Yeah.
He's just tougher than I am. I hate to say it, but he is tougher than I am. So.
Natural.
And I love that you guys
The
have.
fact that he actually was able to answer and say, yes, I'll blurb your book, is like, that never happens with writers. And
Yeah.
like nowadays it could never happen, I think.
Some writers
Yeah.
still do.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
that was already a miracle in and of itself that
And I think that's amazing. Like, that's one of the things that we've picked up on, especially since we've become friends with Jonathan. Jonathan Mayberry, for those listening, we're just referencing him now. It's not what you would expect. And everyone in that community, we've talked to, Dennis K. Crosby, El Janae,
Brian asked.
like, everyone's just, you guys, just, hey, what can we do? Like, we're all in this kind of together. It's not us against each other. I love that mentality.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's one of he's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. I just adore him. And the fact that, I mean, I'm his assistant, right?
Yeah.
So I edit his first drafts. I get to read before anyone else does.
I'm a little jealous. Yeah.
All of it. Oh, everyone should be jealous. It's the best job ever.
As a fan of his work,
Yeah.
I'm definitely a little jealous. So let's talk about the books. You've both written multiple books and a series together.
Yeah.
Where do you guys want to start? Because I've got questions.
Should we start with our latest?
Well, why don't you ask questions and we'll go from there.
We'll start with Time Shards then. The one that you wrote together.
Yeah.
How did this come to be?
We were actually coming home from Comic-Con
Yeah.
one year and driving up, and we just got talking, and I just was talking about a idea I had for a role-playing game back in college, and this thing I used to do.
Big old geek.
Big old geek. And basically, the gist of the game was you played like a time traveling secret agent, and like you would play a person from any time, and you'd go on missions in various times, via time machine. And I told her from that we had an idea for a sort of science fantasy where you've got the world, something has happened, there's been some big cataclysm, and now the world's this big jigsaw puzzle, all these different time zones, where over here it's 1492, over there it's 5 million BC. And so know if you're going to run into a robot or dinosaur, at your next thing.
And he told me about that, and I got chills up and down my spine. I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest idea. And so
by the time we got home from LA to San Francisco,
yeah, I think we pitched it to my Titan editor, Steve.
boom, and they snapped it up right just like
Yeah.
that.
And it's a great premise. I started it, and the first thing I thought was like, what if you did a horror version of Bill and Ted?
Yeah, that's basic. I mean, there's a lot. Did you read all three books, or did you just start the first one? Or
I'm on the first book still.
yeah,
Right.
there's
It builds.
and
Yeah.
because I'm who I am, there is horror running through it.
Yeah.
Simply because I like horror, and I like
Clearly.
yeah, clearly. I like killing things. I like the story. He likes to build worlds. I like to rip them down and populate them with really horrible things.
But it was the most fun we've had writing, I think. And it was the hardest because I'm used to being a history writer. And so
Right.
you have to research. And when you do science fiction, you don't have to research, you just have to make it all up.
Oh, that's not true.
Well, more or less. But when you write a time travel science fiction, you have to research, and make it all up too. So it was kind of the worst of both worlds. But I'm just
He also wasn't used to collaborating, and I've collaborated
Yeah.
on many projects throughout my life. So it was a process just getting him comfortable, trusting me, and
Yeah.
us learning to work together while we were married.
and
We're
stay
still
married.
married.
And you're still married, so that means
Yeah.
yeah. At the very least, you didn't kill each other.
No,
Yeah.
we took a lot of long walks on the beach, and that's how we thrashed things out, is that we would
In the book, not our marriage. Well, both.
I was going to say. So yeah, it was a really, really fun process, and it was challenging at times, but it never really was that bad. I just remember
Yeah.
he kept looking at, he would just get this look every now and going, I can't believe we're not fighting about this.
Yeah. But I love like, and I'm still in the first book, like I said, but through the first Caesar piece where you have he still ends up dead, like the little things that you go through history and you just kind of twist it, I liked. And then I love the idea of, this mile we're going to walk is 1985 Manhattan, and then we're going to walk 10 feet through 200 BC, and then we're going to go back into 1860s Rome. Like, it's really fun how you can just go wherever you want at any time with that. And I mean, you guys did a great job.
And thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's a kind of a post-apocalyptic mashup too, because it's not like it's still 1885 over here. It's not. No, it's like 1885 got dropped. This chunk over here.
And there's a line in there earlier on where she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do without electricity. I was like, that's what I always think about post-apocalyptic. Like, if I don't have ice, I'm out. Like, that's my cutoff. If I can't chill my drinks.
Flush toilets.
I think the super fun things too is the characters could be from all these different times. We get this motley crew from all these different places, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but you're going to meet some really cool people in books 2 and 3.
It's been fun. Like, I'm definitely going to continue reading the whole series. I bought them all. It's a great start so far, and I can already tell from the beginning you have the I was at Comic-Con, the
Amber
protagonist. Amber. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Literally in cosplay. For the thing, Did
you ever see Cabin in the Woods? The movie The person who both of us pictured in that part was the gal that played Dana in that, who's basically
the redhead.
Yeah, she's kind of
the final
Felicia Day.
Yeah,
kind of that's
Felicia Day adjacent.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Do you want to start with Lilith?
We can. I mean, so I just finished Lilith book 1, cracked open Lilith book 2 a couple days ago. It seems like a lot of what, short of the helicopter jumps and high building falls, Lilith seems to mirror some of your acting history and stuff like that with sword fights and stunt choreography and things like that. Is that
by day, demon hunter by night?
Yes, that is me. Yeah. Humble to safe from demons because I'm here. There's definitely most of my female characters. I find it easier to write them if at least there's something I relate to in them, and Lilith definitely is very near to my heart in that regard. But I did a ton of research. I have friends who are much heavier into the actual stunt industry than I ever was, and I interviewed them, and I interviewed actually what's her Amber from Buffy. What's
who's the actr's name?
She played.
I'm blanking on it.
God, and I'm blanking on her character name.
Insert it right here.
Willow's girlfriend. Oh my God, what's her name?
No.
Where's James?
Anyway, I'm very embarrassed because I've talked to her several times and she's really, really nice. Anyway, I interviewed her on how do people audition nowadays? Because back when I was acting, you went in, you read things, you didn't send people video. I mean, it's a very different process from what
Right.
I understand. So I had to do a lot of research, but yes, there's a lot in there, things that there's little sneak bits of my life that are in there. Some of the experiences that she talks about, some of the irritating things, and
You can definitely feel the attention to detail of that piece of it.
Yeah.
You can tell that you've lived some of that for sure.
It's true.
It's like how I mean, we talk about Jonathan Mayberry writing the martial arts stuff and the fight sequences. Like he clearly knows what he's talking about. We talked about that. We'll be reading and we just text each other like, "What page are you on? Where are you at?" So we can talk about it. And it's like, yeah, she clearly knows what she's talking about with stunt stuff and how the movie process is going.
Yeah.
And then it goes into like the cat stunt crew, which I loved that it was the watered down DNA pieces of Angel, and like it's great world building for book one, because how many are there in the series now?
There's 3, and I will tell you, when you finish 3, I don't know if I'll ever get to write another one. It depends on what happens with publishing and everything. I have so much more planned for that world. So much more planned for Lee Striga. I mean, I take it to a certain point. I had to wrap it up at that point, but there's so much more. So
you can tell that you have a world in your mind that this is what you want to build it up for sure. Because there's none of that at the end where it's like, okay, well, now we've finished everything up, everything's nice and tied up. It's like, no, we are just opening the book here of what we can dive into.
Awesome.
I thought the book was great.
It was a lot of fun.
Talked
It was
about
a
it
real
a couple
fun
times. We were talking about, okay, so what's the end going to be? And we went back a few times on it.
It was kind of close to guessing it.
Yeah, it's sort of it's a great world building. Yeah.
Could you guess who some of the characters in Pale Dreamer? That's actually a script that my ex and I wrote, and we did a trailer for it. And there's people that Ken Foray, Brink Stevens, Joseph Pilato, they were all in the trailer that we made for that. And so
we gotta find that footage somewhere.
I've got it somewhere.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and I played the female lead in that too. I was supposed to do that if the movie got made.
Yeah, you need to put that out online. That's awesome.
Yeah.
At least the promo picture for it with you and Ken Foray.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Oh no, I mean, it's phenomenal.
So you're both writers, so I've got to ask, and I got this from Jonathan a while back. What do y'all do to kind of get in the zone to read? Like Jonathan does his 45 minutes of reading poetry out loud every day, and it seems like everybody's got something to do. So what's your go-to?
I had someone else put it, you sneak up on it. It's just sort of like, you want to, everything else looks attractive. I will wash those dishes. I will clean all the cat boxes. And you kind of like, you're looking at your computer and you sneak up on it. And
I'm just going to tweak this little chapter here. I'm just going to look.
This one though, one of the reasons that I like writing with him is that, I mean, this is true for his fiction and his nonfiction. He has got he's like Jonathan. He's just got this fucking focus that I am so envious of. I have it every now and again, but yeah, he can't sleep in the middle of the night. No problem. He'll go downstairs and write. And I'm like, are you crazy? Night is for sleeping and dreaming, maybe reading in bed, but it is not for. But
for a while there, it got to the point where I couldn't sleep more than 4 hours a time, where I'd have to get up, write, and then sleep for another 4 hours,
Yeah, like when we wrote Tarot,
especially the closer you get to deadline.
Hand me that.
Yeah, you get the pressure on you. Yeah.
This is our latest. That one, I'm trying to think of because that actually was a fairly easy book for the two of us to write together. And it was a pretty easy one for me to write. I'd taken a hiatus from my museum job, and I think basically it used to be in San Francisco, go for a walk on the beach, come back, sit down, start to work.
Yeah.
Here, especially when I was still working at the museum, it was, do my museum job, come home, get food, feed the animals, sit down, and just start working. And the first hour was always just kind of like a hairball. And then after you get rid of the hairball, you can actually That's a horrible metaphor. Sorry. Yeah, that's a bad metaphor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of liked it. I mean, I feel that metaphor.
Yeah.
My work is literary here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't have anything like, I mean, when I was younger, I used to and lived in LA, I would shut the curtains and light a fire in the fireplace, even when it was summertime. Insane, I know. I would light candles. I would do all of that. Now I put music on. I like music.
Music is a big one for me
That
too.
keys me in. Like when I wrote the Plague books, I listened to the score for Twilight. Hate the movie, love the music.
Right. Right.
And I will drive him crazy with movies and stuff that for me I need to watch. Like when we wrote when we wrote the Time Shards, the second book, a lot of it takes place in like Rommel Desert, stuff like that. So we watched a lot of Rat Patrol. I don't know if you're familiar with this series with Christopher
in the
Jones.
60s.
Yeah. So that's another thing. It's music. It's finding the right movie or the right show that's either a backdrop or you put it on for a while as an inspiration.
And it's funny, sometimes it has to be no words, got to be instrumental. But
Right.
when I'm in the zone, you can put on any damn thing and I can still write to it,
Yeah.
you know.
You're
I made a
focused.
shot.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we watched Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead back in the day too.
Yeah.
So many times.
Oh, Agora. If you've ever seen the movie Agora, book 2 is that we watched that on repeat basically.
It hurt me.
Yeah.
I've
No,
seen parts
no
of it.
spoilers. No spoilers, but yeah.
Hypatia dies.
Shh.
The dog dies at the end. That's my joke for every movie because everyone hates when the dog dies.
Yeah.
I mean, David, you for your other, for those that don't know, you've nailed the Mormons and the Jesus, the Mything in Action. You have is that all 3 of the books that are out of that in that?
No, there's another one called Playing God: An Evolutionary History of World Religion.
How many books do you have?
A lot.
Yeah.
And I'm working on one right now that's just about to come out this summer. We're still working on the title. Originally, we were calling it Clearly Written by Boys, A Woman's Guide to the Bible. And now I think we're making it like He Will Rule Over You, A Woman's Guide to the Bible, or something like that, you know. But that's I'm really excited about that too. Yeah.
So how do you?
Basically, I write biblical history for atheists. You know.
Right. This is book 4. So how do you prepare to continue that? Because there's only so much you can go into in history and all that. You've got to keep expanding, right?
So. That's what I said 8 books ago. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Well, it's funny. Mormons was one of the early ones I wrote, but the first one I wrote was called Nailed: 10 Christian Myths That Show Jesus Didn't Exist at All.
And that came out of a presentation that he used to give in San Francisco to different groups down there.
Yeah.
Was this part of the Evolutionized or the Evolution Palooza?
Sort of. I mean, it came out of that period in the 90s. But what it was basically is, even though I'd been an atheist for like 16 years, you know, when I'd read the Gospels, I'd be curious about which was giving us the real Jesus and which ones were just the legendary stuff. So we could get at the real Jesus, because they're not giving us the same Jesus, these 4 guys that are supposed to be giving his biography. And so I got really curious about, okay, what's the real, what was he really like? And long story short, about 2 years into that process, I started going, I don't think this guy existed at all, full stop, no exaggeration. And so I wrote Nailed, and Nailed basically is like the top 10 ways that the official story of Jesus just fails, whether Christianity is true or not, whether Jesus was real or not. These things about Jesus that they say are just not true, full stop. And then I got, when that book came out, you know, I wasn't surprised that Christians hated it, but I was surprised by the reaction from some atheists who were saying, "Oh no, there was definitely a Jesus. He wasn't the Son of God, but there's definitely a Jesus."
Just because, why do they have a dog in this hunt, man? It's just kind of like, I found it fascinating at first, absolutely fascinating, and I love his passion for it. But I've got to say, if I never hear the name Jesus again, if I never hear Flavius Josephus, any of this, I will die a happy woman.
She's very long.
If I am really, really interested in reading the book that he's co-writing, is she a professor, Karis, or
she's also an author? Yeah, Karis Kowski, and she's in Ontario, Canada.
And I hope she thanks me for teaching you how to collaborate.
Oh yes,
That's important.
No, She's expressed that more than once, actually. Yeah. So yeah, in a nutshell, the follow-up books with that was just talking to fellow atheists saying, yeah, this is why we don't think there was a Jesus, and this is where we think Christianity did come from. And now it's gotten only worse, because not only do I think Jesus didn't exist, but now it's Moses, Muhammad, Buddha. So I don't think any of those guys in the top 10 world religions existed. And it's the norm for major world religions to start out with a purely mythical founder figure.
There's a lot of history behind the myths of religion.
Yeah.
For sure.
I would love
Hashtag
to
just
show
saying.
you our bookshelves, man.
Yeah.
We could almost be a library, and we could almost be like 1/3 of it a religious history library.
When we moved from San Francisco, we had 175 bankers box just for the books. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know. When I was doing research on, because I didn't realize that you had this huge background, and you talk and you do lectures on all of this. At the point I was at, I had read Richard Dawkins and some of that, and one of the things that I always go to in my head when I'm talking about religion is the 1 to 7 rule he has. You're either, 1 is you don't believe in anything at all. 7 is you are 100% convinced. And he's like, the amount of people that are in 1 and 7 is like 1% of 1%. Whether you're fully religious or fully atheist. And that's what I was thinking about when I was going over your books and reading some of the summaries and stuff. That's interesting stuff. I mean, I'm going to go back and read Mormons for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. My mom loved that one.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the South Park episode where they make fun of Mormons. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite
I call
episodes.
it steampunk Scientology in the book.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I know. That is one of my favorite episodes of South Park, and there's been many.
Dum 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 dum. Yeah.
And it's everything they're saying is pretty much dead on,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing that wrong is that he had a curtain behind him so that they couldn't see him.
Please.
Anyway, but other than that, like all the dumbness of the guys going, really? That was spot on. Yeah.
I
know.
That confirms so many things for some of our people that we talked to here. That's great. Dana, I want to talk about some of the stuff you've done you did V Wars and a ledger.
Two Joe Ledger anthologies.
How did you I guess how did you end up building the story you built for Ledger?
Well, they were supposed to be crossovers of like our characters with a character in the Ledger universe, and so I just thought, have you read the Plague books, the Plague Town, Plague, my zombie trilogy? Because
the Ashley Parker. No, I haven't read those yet. Not yet.
So
fun too.
She fits into the Joe Ledger world in snark and pop cultural references and everything. And I just thought I kind of combined her world with Ledger's. You know how he kind of goes in between Jonathan's series. You've got the Rotten Ruin, you've got Dead of Night and all of those. And there's an alternate universe in which Ledger is in the zombie apocalypse, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And so I kind of mixed that all together, and I just came up with an idea that
what if you drop Joe Ledger into that?
Literally, they have to parachute out of a plane onto an island together, and they don't get along. And it was just fun. I came up with the idea, and then I just sat down and I started writing it. And that's actually one of the things I've written that it was just really fun to do. And it was really easy because his characters are so big, they're easy to,
you can play off of them.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about Dana's writings is she's such a Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you like that blend of comedy and horror, she just nails it. She just nails it.
And I did read your short because I bought the book probably the day it came out. And
Joe Ledger one, the one where it's on the island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crash Course.
Crash Course.
Yeah. That was called. Yeah.
There's another one. If you haven't read Unbreakable yet, I did one that's Lilith or Lee rather, and Joe. It's called Busman's Holiday. So I also did a short story for it. Wait, just wait, put your hand up.
Okay,
Um,
Yeah. I've read that one. I actually I did the audiobook of Unbreakable. I don't know, probably
Amber
3 or 4
Benson.
months ago.
Amber Benson from Buffy. That's who she spoke to, who was just a doll. Yeah.
Benson. Yes. See,
Yeah,
where's Jan?
Benson.
One of our other normal podcast guys is a massive Buffy super fan.
Yeah.
He has a group that they watch the series on DVD weekly or bi-weekly at this point, and then they just cycle it.
They've been
We
through
used
it
to
a
watch
handful of
it.
times now.
Yeah, I've
Love it.
binged it the whole series probably at least 4 times. We started in Los Angeles. My sister and a group of friends, we would get together every week for the new Buffy episode, eat food, drink a lot of wine, and yeah.
Yeah, good times.
But yeah, anyway, when I came to that story just by thinking what would go together and how could I have fun, and I wanted crocodiles. So, I know we'd just been to Costa Rica. I like to take any place I travel, I turn it into a tax write-off because I will always be there.
You find
And so
something to bring back. Yeah.
I did, and so I wanted to set that one in Costa Rica, and I wanted to have crocodiles because we went to that bridge where you look down and there's just like hundreds of
Big ass
crocodiles just sitting there looking up at you going, yeah.
And first you think they're logs, and then you realize, wait, these are all crocodiles.
Yeah.
And then my V-War story, same thing. I set that in Costa Rica, and I set that at expatriate bar. Is that what it was called?
Expat bar, yeah.
An expat bar that was about a mile down the road from this villa that we stayed at, and I had to find the V-Wars thing. You have to choose your vampire, what culture you want it from, and you have to do something unique with that. So that's where that came from.
V-War, I thought that whole V-Wars, the book, turned out so good. Like everyone crushed it. The way it all turned around at the end. I wish that the Netflix series hadn't happened during COVID. When you have a worldwide plague.
Yeah.
During a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
Horrible timing, but yeah, I love that series, like front to back. Everyone that committed to that was awesome. All those stories turned out really, really good.
Yeah.
And just the idea of capturing all the different kinds of variations, regional variations of vampires. What a brilliant idea that is.
And I'm sure that came from Jonathan and his grandma. And his upbringing. So
just that endless mind of his that churns with the old school.
He kills me. I don't even know how that mind even works. I mean, I can't.
He was telling us one time he feels like Ozymandias in Watchmen, watching 16 screens. He says, "That's my brain watching 16 screens all at once."
That's actually a great analogy for Jonathan Mayberry.
That's really accurate.
Yeah, it just he's so prolific, and his first drafts. I mean, he's there's typos in them, and I catch things every now and again. But his first drafts are better than most people's final drafts.
And he busts out.
He's disgusting.
Thousands.
He's a beast. Yeah. I'm very, very jealous.
I am
Stephen King's jealous, probably.
Well, he says it's because he used to be a journalist, and so he got in the chops of write fast.
Yeah.
But 6,000 words a day, 10,000 words a day. That's
only when he's gearing up to the very end of something. If he had to do 10,000 words a day more than a couple of days in a row, he would die.
He'd bust.
He would just die. So
but still.
I like that you've got that relationship. It's like no, it's not going to work.
No, I worry about. I mean, I try not to overstep the worry thing, but I'm just like, dude, can you just take a day off? I'm so glad
he cranks them out.
Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna say he cranks them out. I think he told us last time that he averages one full book about every 90 days or so, and just random short stories in between. And then we talk to other authors, and they're
we hate him. We all hate him.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I don't know how he keeps it all straight.
Yeah.
Well, every now and again he'll make a mistake, and that's why he has an assistant to say, "You already mentioned that in the last chapter." No, I try not to be snug about it or anything, but
that's called job security.
Yeah.
There you go.
And are you going to be at Comic-Con again this year?
I mean, I got our tickets. I already did signed the professional registration. I just don't know. I mean, I would have said no a couple weeks ago because we had a dog that was basically
Sorry to
like,
hear that.
yeah, she was paralyzed from the hind legs down, and it was just a constant. It was basically 24/7 taking care of her, and we weren't going to go anywhere until after that. Now it's simply, if we can get someone to.
If there's still planes flying,
But we need a cat sitter.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 10 cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
As you
I
can
hope so.
see,
I hope so. I mean, we got the tickets, got a place we can stay if need to. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We're
hope so.
definitely excited about that. It just it's the same thing as like what we're doing here, like the love of what we're all into at
Yeah.
Comic-Con. That was our first time being, and that was impressive.
Remind me of where in Comic-Con we met, because that whole thing was kind of a blur to me.
We met after
It was outside of Jonathan.
the panels.
Yeah, Jonathan was doing. It was focused on Jonathan, and it was Scott Sigler
That's right.
Yeah.
and Jonathan. And we met after. Yeah,
Okay.
because we had been talking to I think Dennis K. Crosby at his crime stuff. Yeah.
Dennis and Ronald.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
And then your new book, Taboo.
Tarot.
Sorry. Tara.
It's Weird Tales presents.
And can you tell us about this one?
Yeah.
Or what can you tell us about this one, I guess?
We can tell you that it's really good.
It's like a dark fantasy post-apocalyptic mashup. It's basically about the fall of the fantasy kingdom.
Yeah, and it also it's I would call it grimdark fantasy. It's definitely got the horror elements that are my lifeblood. It's why I write. And it started because we co-wrote a short story for Weird Tales magazine in the Sword and Sorcery issue. And this is basically, that story is set 200 years in the future of this, where we went back and decided, well, we started this story in this world where there's been this horrible cataclysm and these horrible things are coming up from the earth because of this cataclysm. How did that happen?
That's right.
Yeah, so that's what we did. And
the whole tarot thing that comes into it is we kind of treat it as if this fantasy world is where all our iconography, the symbolism
the
of
shadow
tarot.
world of tarot.
Yeah.
Right.
And when like the Amber books of Roger Zelazny, our Earth is an echo of the real Earth. It's like this is the real kingdom where all the tarot imagery comes from.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So we had fun with that too.
Yeah, it's got some of, I don't even know if it has the same elements of time shards exactly, but I love it in the same way that I love the time shards.
Yeah.
Is that out now?
Yeah.
It is out now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we put a little link on the bottom to go get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to add it to my list now.
There
On
you
the
go.
list of books I've got here for you guys. Yeah, because I'm definitely gonna finish the library.
Yay.
Excellent. I'm very proud of that one. And we have Jonathan to thank for the connection to Weird Tales that got us, the pitch. And, we took the pitch and we got it from there. But again, it just goes back to someone who loves to hold his hand and come on and join me.
Yeah.
So
I love that community. Yeah, that's great.
I do too. I really do.
It's funny. Horror writers are the sweetest, most supportive people, and romance writers can be some of the most vicious harpies you've ever seen.
No, it's mostly the romance fans.
There you go.
Yeah, I wrote erotica for a while. So did he, for a company called Ravenous Romance. And oh my God, I'm just like, why are you people so, I use the word bodice ripper to describe something. And, I grew up back when bodice rippers were a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I just got like the bitchiest people come out to me for that. And I'm like, I don't know how old you are, but this is when I was raised. This is the language I use. And
I'll say one thing about it. Dana too. She can turn an angry fan around like no one I've ever seen. Sometimes. I mean, you don't expect outrage addicts to like get, turn about, but she'll actually respond to.
I used to.
Yeah, she used to. I mean, you just run out of time and patience.
Yeah, who's got time these days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one person that just wrote a 1-star review and was really just basically decided that because I was an Army of Darkness, I thought I was like all that in a bag of chips. And I wrote back and I said, no, not really. I mean, if you don't like the book, but can we, it just was sort of like, I just didn't understand it. And then she became really good friends. So we call her 1-star review, 5-star friend. So yeah, I just,
Yeah.
and you can't do that with everyone and you shouldn't even try.
Yeah.
It's,
This angry fan made her a Hello Kitty
yeah.
zombie Hello Kitty and sent it to her for Christmas. I was like, that's the kind of friend we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I mean,
Interesting.
that's the communication with anyone that's reading that we get now. And I think that's I mean, as a reader and a writer, I love it because I get to
is kinda
connect with the
cool.
writers I like, and I get to connect with the people that read my stuff.
Can I ask what you're writing?
Yeah, what's your
So I've written a sci-fi. I don't even know if I can talk about it. I
Is
wrote
it out?
it was self-published, or the first two novellas were self-published, and now we've expanded it, doubled it, and it's novel form, and it's at publishers. We're pitching it
With
to
Cherry.
publishers. Cherry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So
What's it
hopefully
called?
we'll hear something in the next year or so of Saturn is for Suckers, a sci-fi comedy.
That sounds awesome.
Well,
I
will read
really
it.
I smashed Sam Raimi into Marvel, and that's kind of
Love it.
what I came up with.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I gotta read it.
Yeah.
It's I wrote a couple different times and then it wasn't working. I was like, what do I want to watch? What do I want to see? And
There you
that's
go.
what I did.
There
And
you go.
it turned out so much better.
And a well-executed mashup is a beautiful thing.
And writing what you love is always better than writing to trends. I don't,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember I started reading Stephen King, I think when I was 11, and I was like, I'm going to write a book. And it was just a Stephen King love letter. It had none of me in it,
We all start writing like that though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how you start to
and
develop
that's how you
writing.
learn, right? Yeah.
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 And anyone that makes fun of that or says that that's wrong, they're wrong because that is how we learn to write. Is my first thing was a Narnia ripoff.
Yeah.
You know?
Fourth grade old Star Trek ripoff.
Yeah.
I did 2 old Star Trek ripoffs. Yeah.
Star Wars ripoffs. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, fanfic.
Yeah.
That's just what you do. And anyone that says otherwise, well, that's very nice for them. But so.
Good for you then. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Same thing with film, everything else. You watch somebody and they're like, oh, it was a clone of this. It's like, that's because that's what they wanted to make and they're figuring it out. And then you see the next one down the line and they're winning. At the very least, kudos, because they've taken that and morphed it into their own vision. Look at like Weapons that just came out. Like we're doing something totally different, but it's got the vibe.
Want to see that? No spoilers.
I'm not. No, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're taking that they've wanted to build this kind of movie or show, and then they've started to put their own stuff in it, and it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. Or like Cabin in the Woods is a great example. That's we have all these old 80s, 90s horror icons, ideas. What if we smash them all together into an Evil Dead cabin? Like, great idea.
That's one of our top 3 movies ever. It almost never got released. Can you imagine?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. If Liam
Neeson
Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth, yeah.
If Chris Hemsworth hadn't made some successful Marvel movies, it was we'll release it.
Right.
But yeah, it was basically produced and abandoned, like so many other movies.
Yeah, I mean, Whedon at the time wasn't where he was before Avengers, right?
Yeah. But I mean, and that, again, that's one of our favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mashups are fun.
Yeah. So good. And it's got characters you care about. And unlike most slasher movies from the 80s, where they're just disposable or you can't wait for them to get killed, you really root for these guys. And,
they're not throwaways. Yeah.
And that's one thing that's a through line through all our fiction.
It's like the difference. Oh, I'm sorry.
We try to make the characters as compelling as everything else in there.
I was going to say that the cabin in the woods analogy it's the same thing, like the difference between Aliens and Aliens 4, where they tried to recreate the vibe in Aliens, but you care about all of the characters, even though you just meet them really quickly,
Yeah.
but they're people, they're characters, and you care when they die. Whereas in Aliens 4, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, he had it coming.
Yeah.
Which I love that you said that, because
Aliens is my favorite movie, hands down.
Yeah, right?
I watched that the first time when I was in like second grade or third grade, probably earlier than I should have watched it.
It's a baby.
Yeah. I had the old school VHS box set and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Aliens universe is phenomenal, and the fact that it was Mark Rolston, Rico Ross, Michael Biehn, Jeanette Goldstein, they were all at Comic-Con last year.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. We got to go through and meet everybody and take some pictures and stuff.
God, lucky.
And they were all awesome.
Yeah, they were all super nice too. I think he and I were both surprised when we left Comic-Con last year at how, for the most part, how nice and friendly and welcoming everybody was. Especially all the writers at Writers Coffee House. The panels we went to, everybody was willing to talk. Yeah. Everybody was there. Lloyd Kaufman was just hanging out at the Troma booth for a while. That's not a lot of people's thing, but I'm a big Lloyd Kaufman fan.
Troma has its place in my heart.
Yeah. That's on that was a box we wanted to check.
Yeah. I mean, Troma is its own thing.
But
it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody, but
it's not always for me. But every now and again, I'm like, okay, you got me. I got to go to the 20th anniversary screening of Aliens that they did in LA back. It was when they were filming Galaxy Quest, because Sigourney Weaver had blonde hair, and I wished you could have been there just because of your love for this. It was, watching the movie, and then all of the actors were there, and it was just kind of, and James Cameron was there, and
that's awesome. I'm kind of jealous of that one.
I got to tell him that he created one of the most iconic female characters, or he didn't create her, but he helped.
He helped bring her to life, really.
Yeah. And also Sarah Connor and everything.
Oh yeah.
I don't always like what he does or
right.
But the stuff that he does right, and he's really done, I think, a lot for women in the industry. For the characters. So, and I would be jealous of myself for that too. But I wish I could have met them at Comic-Con. Honestly, that's.
Well, I've got your number this year, so if you're there, when we're down in the pit, we'll let you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we wandered through the pit every day just to see who was fresh.
Yeah,
and it's so funny how many people that you bump into there.
We were literally standing next to the booth, and it took us a full minute before we were like, oh shit, that's everyone from Aliens right there. And we went over, and they weren't quite set up yet. And who were we talking to first?
Mark Rolston and Jeanette Goldstein.
And he's like, you guys want to hang out while we set up? We're like, yeah, of course. So we kind of just sat there and talked to them for 10 minutes. They were great.
Yeah. Everybody's super nice, super friendly. It was not at all what I expected at Comic-Con, but phenomenal.
Is that your first
awesome.
Comic-Con?
Yeah, that was the first time we'd been to Comic-Con San Diego.
That's cool.
And for reference, my level of nerd is up here, and his level of nerds. Yeah.
The nerd is strong with him.
I go in the comic books, I go into the the Star Wars, all that stuff. Yeah, for sure.
It's funny. The first people we met there at that preview night on Wednesday night or whatever, we had been walking around for maybe 20 minutes. And the first people we met were comic book artists and graphic novelists from Bentonville, literally 5 minutes down the road from us
in Arkansas.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I mean. It's a very small world up there.
It's just, I guess I said I grew up in San Diego, and my dad, after my parents' divorce, took my sister and I out for what was supposed to be a father-daughter day, and he wanted to go drink with his buddies, so he dropped us off at Comic-Con, one of the very first ones, at the I can't even remember the name of the hotel. It was the first one that they did, and the big deal was the Star Trek blooper reel. And I look at that, and I look at Comic-Con over the years, because I used to go all the time, and then it's become this. I don't even know,
It's an icon in the movie.
Yeah. I mean,
do you want to tell them your Mark Hamill story or no?
If you got a Mark Hamill story,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we I was I've sword fought for a long time, and my sword fighting group, we used to do, workshops and stuff like that. And I was always in some costume or another. And this costume was for a comic book character called Militia. I don't know if you know a comic book artist, Mark Beecham. He's really well known for his love of the female butt. And so he likes to draw pictures, costumes that accent the butt. So I had on a military jacket, thigh-high boots, and this this bodysuit thing that it wasn't a bikini, it was a bodysuit, but it was way high cut and
Yeah.
it was a thong.
Yeah.
So there was my butt. So anyway, I'm walking through with my outfit and my sword, and all of a sudden this guy says, "Hey, could I take a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Sure." It was Mark Hamill. So we took one from the front, and then he's like, "So could I get a picture with your butt?" And somewhere out there was a picture of Mark Hamill and my butt. And he was so sweet and such a geek. This was, right in the middle of Star Wars and all of that. And he was just another guy just looking for butts, I guess. I don't know.
And who can blame
awesome.
him?
Yeah.
Who of us
Story
can
of
blame
life
him?
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
I
for some
keep
butts.
forgetting about that. If I ever forget my past, I'm so glad I married someone who, two people, he and my ex-husband are like best friends. And between the two of them, they are the repository of my memory. So
It's good to have that. Thanks, David, for making sure that we remember the Mark Hamill butt story. I appreciate that.
There's a wealth of treasure from here. Yeah.
What's next?
Well, when you read the third Lilith book, there's a character called Ol Now. He's also in book 2, just briefly, but he reappears in book 3. I wrote a short story that's going to be in the Weird Tales issue, the cryptid urban legend issue, and take that story and I'm going to develop it into a book. And then also I want to write. I want to write another Lilith novel, and I've actually started. It's really weird. I've started getting fan letters from, emails from people about Lilith and Ashley going, "When are you going to do another one?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but
there's some
anyway,
industry. There's some ins that have to be worked out before you can do it.
Well, it's publishing. It's the way publishing is, and if I do it, I may just do it and see what happens. But anyway, I want to write this horror novel, and it's just different from anything in tone that I've written before. So I've been doing research for that and just kind of thinking about it. And then we both work at this history museum that is pretty much haunted, and he doesn't believe it. I do.
A lot of science.
And I want to write I guess it would be horror mystery, supernatural mystery with humor, but horror, because I like combining all of that. So I've just been taking notes for that. So for me, those are the two projects that are kind of boxing it out in my head. In the meantime, I've been just really enjoying reading. I've been rereading the Joe Ledger books. I've been reading all of John Connolly's Charlie Parker novels. And if you have not read that series, read them. They are phenomenal. And I've just been sort of enjoying relearning how to go. I don't have to work today, because for me, for 45 years, I've not been able to do that. So
that's gotta be a good feeling.
It's a really good feeling, and I'm just enjoying letting things just kind of percolate in my head and figuring out which one I want to focus on first.
Right.
So
I've been wanting to finish a book on sex and violence in the Bible, and other books have just popped up and oh no, I got to get this out first. Oh, I got to get this out. And so as soon as I get the next book out, I might just go back to writing this book about sex and violence in the Bible.
And we have other books in the Tarot universe that I really would like to write as well. It's just right now, I haven't been without a contract with a publisher in a long time, and it's both kind of scary and both kind of like, ooh, I can do whatever I want. So yeah.
What out of curiosity, what do you guys do at the museum?
Oh, I am the social media events coordinator, and it is so much fun. Now that I've learned things about social media that I can do for myself, for promotion as an author, and It's just this very small museum, and
Yeah, it's mostly local history, natural history,
it's
and
Humboldt history.
native history.
It's
Yeah,
Humboldt history.
which is Northern California, Bigfoot country, basically.
Oh,
We're-
Yeah.
nice.
yeah.
What's the museum?
Clark,
The Clark Historical Museum.
thank you. I should know that. Yeah,
Just
Clark
a-
with an E. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go on the website, you'll see us on the staff page and everything. Dave is the concierge, the person that talks people into memberships and everything. And it's just,
For instance, their native basket collection is one of the largest in the entire world. Not even accepting the Smithsonian.
yeah.
So
It's a very cool little museum. And when we moved up here in 2020, it was right before COVID. I got the job literally the day before COVID started, and it became our community and has since become
Yeah.
our family. And we developed friends and community outside of that. So it
it
just
really has been our home away from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really cool place, and I want to immortalize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Make a great series, I think.
I think so.
Haunted Museum writes itself. Really,
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
it?
I mean, has there ever been one? Yeah. Haunted museum. Go for it. That's what we want. A
No.
really, really dark haunted museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here. Can you guys stick around for a second?
Sure.
After.
Yeah.
And hopefully
Dana?
we'll see you at
David. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys in person again soon. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Well, thanks
for
we'll
having
have
us.
all of your stuff.
Yeah.
Charlie.
There we go.